we are here again. And this time we just want to share with you something interesting that Kels and I came across. Actually, I read it and then I was like, Kels, this is quite interesting. Well, we've come across the 4 styles of attachment, and actually studies have shown that most relationships survival are actually basically 100% dependent on the attachment styles of the concerned people in that relationship.
Yeah, and perhaps we should mention that the reason this personally caught my attention was because I wanted to see where each one of us would fall. So after we explain these 4 concepts to you, we're gonna try see. Well, I'm gonna guess where Molly would fall, and she'll try fit me into one of these as well. The reason why we want each one of us to try fit the other into this puzzle is because we feel like people easily figure us out sometimes more than we do ourselves, and sometimes we think we're okay, we're perfect, but we're actually not.
Yeah, actually with attachment styles, it's better to be assessed by somebody else other than yourself, but you can still be honest enough to yourself and assess yourself. But because a relationship is how you relate, so people are in a better position to tell you how you relate to them as opposed to you telling them how you believe you relate to them. So the 4 types are fear avoidant, anxious,
avoidant, and secure.
Absolutely. So I'm going to start explaining fear avoidant and anxious, and then Kels is going to explain the other 2. Well, the fear avoidant attachment style is one where the individual is actually scared of being too close to the people they're with, and also they're scared of being too far from the people they're with. It's like there is a middle ground that they would like to be at, and they keep on wanting to measure where exactly they are. They want to know if they are not too close, in which case they are afraid that they may have exposed a lot about their own vulnerabilities to the other third party, which most of the time they believe their partner would to their partner, which they believe their partner would in a short or long term use against them. But then again, if they are too far from their partner, they're also scared that they will lose their partner. So these are very confused individuals. So they tend to be violent sometimes because they think if they're violent, then they're protecting themselves from being hurt by the other person. They are very negative oriented in terms of trying to bring something to the table, because they're always looking out to whether or not they're not being used, they're not being used by the other person. And then when it comes to anxious, these are people who romanticize relationships in their minds. They have like a perfect picture. If you watch rom-coms, most women, we love rom-coms. They're like that, like your feel-good movie type of characters, where they're in a perfect world. They're in a perfect world that they cannot link to reality. And when they are in an actual real relationship, they tend to be extremely emotional. They throw tantrums quite a lot, and they also tend to be very insecure in that space, because they want to believe that if you're not doing what their perfect world has shown them to be a good relationship, it means that you don't love them enough. I think a thin line between fear avoidant and anxious, but they're different nonetheless.
It's like they have a predefined concept of love that when they experience differently, they feel like they're not experiencing the real thing when reality strikes. All right, Mouse. Okay, now the third one, what is avoidance? Just simply avoid it. These ones are highly independent. They feel like they are perfect in their state. They don't need to alter anything about themselves in order to relate with the next person. They are highly independent. They don't take no for an answer, because they have a predefined route of whom they want to be and where they want to go, and they don't allow any other person to come and alter their space.
They are emotionally unavailable.
They are emotionally unavailable, and you cannot cry on their shoulder, because they feel like you have to be able to resolve stuff on your own. Why bother them? But despite their being in a relationship.
Maybe a little one to add, while they are so it's not really a good trait for them, but they are also most of the time found to be very jolly people. They joke about everything. You cannot engage with them in a very serious discussion.
Yes, because they never allow anything to bring them down. They never allow their vulnerabilities to take lead. They want strength to take lead all the time, and that is how they define themselves to be highly dependent upon self. All right, I think that's just about it. And then the last one is secure. Well, secure is somebody who is 100% secure in themselves, in that they are not looking to benefit much from the next person. They are 100% okay with who they are, and they are mostly happy and bring about a happy energy in a relationship. But not to say they are perfect, because at the end of it all, we're all human. But a secure person, somebody that is secure in their love character, most of the times just presents a happy energy, because they're not looking to alter you, not to alter themselves, not to alter much about the environment or your love scenario or anything. They just want things to evolve as they come, because they trust and they have faith that ultimately things work out for the best. They're very secure in how things will turn out.
Absolutely.
But they're not perfect.
But they're not perfect. So a secure person has sort of learned that a relationship is a risk. So this is a person that comes in knowing that the good and the bad are going to happen, and they are going to have to be, they're going to be expected to be mature, whether it's during good or bad times.
Sometimes they become this way because of past experiences where they've just learned that you can't really do much to change most of the outcome about your life situations, but you can respond in a more positive manner, just so you make it through the day, and maybe even grow from your experience.
So one of the other things that I've come across when reading about the attachment styles, which is a very interesting factor, is that the fearful people, the avoidant, and the anxious people, people within these three attachment styles are in a very bad space, but they can't really 100% control themselves. It's like a voice that keeps coming to say, it's time you act crazy, or it's time you become unreasonable. But because they have, this is a soul wound. The reason I say it's a wound in the soul is that most of these are as a result of how a person was brought up. So these are ideologies or personalities that have been formulated by your understanding of what it means to be an individual from a very young age. So sometimes for extreme circumstances, people may need professional counseling in order to slowly move towards being more secure in relationships.
And also, you could be one person, but you can have bits and pieces of each one of these, because we have quite varied experiences as a people, and as an individual, depending on what you've gone through and what it has grown inside of you. You can learn that there are some experiences or some situations that bring out of you anxiety, or that bring out of you the need to avoid, or they bring out of you the need to feel secure or independent. And you can have bits and pieces of these, and sometimes people can call you bipolar, or they can just feel like you are very unstable in terms of character, when it's just different things that are bringing different versions of yourself out of you. So at the end of it all, we wanted to try to figure out where each one of us would fall.
And we'll take it from like when we're young to how we've seen us evolve. So I don't know if you go first, Kels, on me.
I think go first.
All right. For me, when I think Kels, when we were growing up, was very emotionally guided. So I think when up until maybe university, she was more of an avoidant type of style, which to most people it would appear that you're strong, but it actually means you are so guarded that you don't want to be impacted negatively by anything. But as we were growing up, I've seen her learn more into the secure mode, especially precisely, I believe, based on that analogy of Kel's is why she's also in such a great marriage. She is in a secure space.
And might I add that one of the reasons I tapped into my secure space with confidence was also because of my partner. My husband is a very secure person as well. He has this very amiable character that allows me to trust and have faith in our relationship. Wow. So I think it really does matter how you relate with. So Marvels, now my turn. I feel like our story is somewhat similar. You were more anxious, only you weren't avoidant. You were anxious, you had trying relationships, but you had a perfect picture because you're trying to avoid what you grew up seeing. You wanted something that was close to perfect. And this did not allow you to tap into reality most of the times, and it seemed like it was a burden on you, definitely, but also a burden on the people you're in relationships with. And I feel like ever since though it's been quite a long time, I've seen growth ever since your last relationship, especially when you develop the confidence to just be alone in your house, spend time alone in prayer and everything. I've seen that change with our immediate siblings. That the way you relate with us, you're more secure, you're more confident, and you're more understanding, because in most of our conflicts, you always take the stance of trying to understand each one of us, and always reminding us how different we are, and always trying to explain to us why we made different decisions as we did. And I feel like, to me, that's the growth I wanted to see in you. That's the growth. The growth I've been seeing you has just given me confidence in the process of growth. Yeah, I've seen it in you, and I trust the process of growth.
Well, thanks, Kels. I'm glad I'm making progress. And as you speak, Kels, one of the major things that when we are in an anxious and fear-avoidant space that we need to do is find that individual sort of existence where we can make improvements on our own. But sometimes you can be a powerhouse while you're single, and then when you get into a relationship, you discover that your attachment style still needs a bit of improvement. But at least if you can be whole before you find the other person, that's really good. The thing with anxious and fearful people is that we think we are the ones feeling pain, but I'll tell you the truth that when you're in a relationship where you are so ill-tempered and you bother your partner a lot, you're actually causing them pain, because they're looking for a partner. They're not looking for a child to raise.
Absolutely.
And every time you throw tantrums and cry, you're giving them a baby to raise, other than a grown-up to build something with.
Yep. So just remember that you're okay. There's nothing wrong with you. You're anxious. That's okay. I think that what I like about this video is that it just opens one's mind to try and figure out who they are in a relationship. Just be aware of your contribution in the breakup, your contribution in the build-up, your contribution in the searching, your contribution, because that is ultimately what will make the relationship work. Of course, notwithstanding the contribution of the other partner. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. We can't wait to
see you soon. And if you're a child of God, remember you're complete. God don't make ugly.
Nope.